Danny Lau here with Lion Real Estate, empowering individuals and families with financial success through real estate. Buyers, if you're out there looking at real estate to purchase, you may have heard of the term FHA loan, or you may be using an FHA loan yourself. Now, one thing that is very common in this current market is people talking about how hard it is to get a home with an FHA pre-approval letter. Now, there's a couple of challenges behind FHA loans, and I'll explain why and what you as a buyer can do to help you move forward in the home purchase process. So what exactly is an FHA loan? An FHA loan is a loan insured by the Federal Housing Authority, so is a government-sponsored loan, which is an incentive for buyers to have a lower hurdle to get into home ownership. So typically, they have less stringent financial requirements and credit requirements, and a lower down payment amount, which is 3.5%. And so, being that it has a lower hurdle of entry for a lot of buyers, it is a very popular loan for first-time home buyers. Now, however, a lot of buyers using this particular loan is running into walls when they're trying to submit offers in a really competitive situation. Right now, once again, I know I'm beating a dead horse and I've said it many times in previous videos, but right now the market is really hot and sellers are holding all the power. Sellers are just putting the house on the market and they are picking and choosing the highest and best offers because there are a lot of eager buyers competing against themselves to get into a desirable home. Now, as the seller, in the shoe of the seller, when you're receiving multiple offers, the very best and most desirable thing that you want to see is all cash. Because for all cash, some rich person is on the other side saying, hey, I want to buy your house. And as long as that person makes that decision and is able to write the check, the house is done. There's not many hurdles there. It's the easiest and simplest process, and you as the seller can get your money the quickest. Now the second best, which we see most common, is arguably the conventional loan. Conventional loan can range, typically is 20% down, but there's lower percentage conventional loan as well, 5%, 10%, or higher, 30% down payment conventional loan. Now for conventional loan, in comparison to the FHA loan, conventional has a slightly higher credit requirement, underwriting requirement, and a higher hurdle because of the higher down payment amount. And so now in the eyes of the seller, if you're looking at a conventional loan versus an FHA loan, naturally more sellers will want to go with the conventional loan. Number one, because they have a higher down payment, and number two, it's also part of a perception because it's perceived that the FHA loan has a lower credit score requirement, has a lower hurdle of entry, and so chances are if you're the seller and you want the smoothest, the least risky transaction, then you want to go with a safer option such as the conventional loan rather than the FHA loan. And so now the last part is the down payment difference, because in a really competitive and hot market, when there is a high overbidding going on, a lot of times property may not appraise because the appraisal kind of lives in the rear. And what I mean by that is that appraisal takes time to catch up to the market activity. And so if market activity jumped from here to here, and everybody's writing offers at this level, appraisals in the beginning is still gonna be around here and takes time to eventually catch up to appraising at the level that people are writing offers on. And so that being said, when you are presented with offers from the seller's perspective, one has a 20% down, and that covers the gap between appraisal and the offer price, whereas the other one is 3.5% down from an FHA buyer. That 3.5% may not necessarily cover the gap between the down payment, between the appraisal price and the offer price. And so in that scenario, either the seller will have to come down on the sales price, or the sale would just fall through. And so once again, it's natural that a seller will choose the conventional loan. Now, that being said, if you're a buyer and out there shopping with an FHA loan, don't be discouraged, because in this market, it has happened, it does happen, and it's still happening that FHA buyers are getting into contract. There is a couple of strategies I like to use. I guess the first thing is knowing how competitive the market is and knowing how strong some of the other buyers can be in comparison to the FHA buyer. You should avoid a home that's going to receive multiple offers. I know it draws everybody and their grandmother out to come see this home when the home is gorgeous and when the home is desirable, because now everybody is going to come and everybody's going to compete against it. You may fall in love with a home like that too, but understand that you are not necessarily fighting the battle that's most you're not picking the right battle to fight if you're an FHA buyer in this scenario. And so rather than going after those homes, you may want to pivot and look for other potential properties out there on the market. Now, what type of other properties are there? Properties sometimes gets mispriced, either by the listing agent or by the seller. Now, if the property is mispriced and is sitting on the market, if it's on the market for 5 days, 10 days, 3 weeks, now all of a sudden, after the property has been sitting out there, you may be able to test the water with, okay, what if I write you an offer with this number? I understand that it's an FHA offer. I'm willing to give you X amount of dollars, but because you as a seller don't have any other offers in hand, why not entertain the FHA offer? So number one, you can go after properties that is overpriced. Number two, you may want to go after properties that is overlooked by other people. Now, overlooked by other people meaning sometimes maybe the marketing is not done right, or somehow the timing is not good where it's launched right in between a big holiday and people are distracted. And so all of a sudden, if the marketing is not done right and people are distracted, so your competitor, your competing buyers are distracted, and for whatever reason, the seller is not doing themselves a favor by not having the right marketing, as the buyer, you may be able to take advantage of an opportunity like that. Or also, something like an off-market opportunity, once in a while it comes up, and that's why it also goes to say how important it is to work with a local real estate expert, because typically a local real estate agent has the resources and knows the right circle of people to know that some properties may be coming up or some properties are off market. And so now you have access to these properties with the right connection, so that when that property comes on, the buyer can now take a stab at it before all the competition jumps on it. And then now, another route I would potentially go with when it comes to making offers with an FHA is pay attention to timing. Paying attention to timing is very critical because a lot of times you think it's price that wins an offer. And that may be true, honestly, probably 70% of the time. But I would say maybe 20 to 30% of the time is about timing. It's about being there before everybody is. And so if the seller is in a hurry and you happen to be able to bring a super clean offer, super clean FHA loan offer to present it to the seller and say, hey, we will get this done as soon as possible. And we understand the challenges so that we're ready to work together, not against one another, but work together to get this closed with least stress amount possible for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. In that case, timing may help you as the FHA buyer score the deal. And so don't be discouraged, buyers. I know it's a tough market out there, but we do see that FHA buyers continue to get deals closed in this current market. I know I've done a couple myself in the last couple of months, and so it can be done. It's just a matter of how to approach the scenario correctly and in your favor as the buyer. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. More than happy to talk about any other topics that you guys find interesting. Like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next episode. This is Danny Lau. See you next time.